What's up, fellas? So I had a loyal patron supporter that wanted me to talk about why men are so weak in relationships. Okay, in classic AMS form, you know I came up with 10 reasons why men are weak in relationships. I know y'all love my top 10 countdown, so I must keep that going. But before I start the list, I just want to thank you guys, especially my patron supporters, sending me these good ass questions and shit like that, man. Y'all guys keep the channel alive. I let y'all guys know I appreciate y'all, man. When you've been doing this shit for 3 years and shit like that, it can be tedious, to say the least, to come up with topics that you haven't covered before. Ask any YouTuber. I'm just letting y'all guys know. I know to y'all just like, oh, just make a video. Yeah, you can make videos. You know, I can make a video every day talking about masculine frame and choosing signals and shit like that. Nobody want to see that. So to come up with topics that I haven't covered or haven't covered in this greater detail, because I've talked about men being weak in relationships, but this time I came up with 10 reasons why men are weak in relationships. Okay, so shout out to that supporter that gave me this question. All right, number one, women control the sex. That is the number one reason. And I'm not putting these in fucking order, all right? But as soon as he asked me the question, this is the first thing that came to my head. Women control the sex. So once you get in a relationship, she has the leverage because she has the booty. Now, y'all guys say, well, men didn't used to be like this. That's because women didn't used to work. So the dynamic was balanced out more. Okay, so you go back to your grandma. The man worked, he bought home, he had the money, he bought home the bread, took care of home, and the woman took care of the home and she provided the sex. So we got an even kill. No booty, no providing. Women are in the workforce now. So the dynamic, let me put it to y'all guys like that. That would be almost like the man being able to have an extra girlfriend. All right, now the woman can't get no get right out of him because he got reliable sex from somewhere else. Y'all guys see what I'm saying? So from the woman's perspective, if the man was to have another girlfriend, now she cannot get him to act right because he has another outlet for sex. Well, okay, he doesn't have another girlfriend, but now she has an income source. So his leverage is gone. His leverage. In the old days, the man's leverage was, I provide. I'm going to bring home the bacon and you give me some bacon. Okay. Now with women working, I had a client, her husband made over $1 million a year, stockbroker guy, right? And she made 6 figures. And I was like, they had 2 kids. She just had 2 kids, right? While I was training her. And I was like, have y'all ever thought about you just staying home with the kids instead of you paying for a nanny and stuff like that? And she was like, hell no. Now, we didn't discuss why hell no. I knew why hell no. It gives him too much leverage in the relationship. All right. She controls the relationship. I seen them interact. So whenever they interact, guys, whenever I would see them interact, she'll be pushing the stroller and he always be walking behind her with his head down like this right here. Because if you don't act right, you get no booty. Okay. In the old days, he could have said, well, no booty, no loot, no bread, no providing. He don't have that leverage anymore. Okay, guys. So that is the number one reason why she controls the sex. Your hormones are higher than hers. I know we get caught up all into this thing that women want sex as much as men. Women want sex as much as men. Bullshit. Bullshit. The thing is, women can have more sex than men. If men could, we would sit around all day, eat and fuck. That's what we would do. Eat, fuck, and shit. They say eat, sleep, and shit. No. If men had the ability to sleep around like women do, if we could choose and go on Instagram, we would eat, fuck, and shit all fucking day. And that would be all we fucking do. I know at least I would. We don't have it like that. So the thing is, women have more sex than us because they can. Not because it ain't like we ain't trying. Shit. Okay, so that's number one, guys. They control the sex. Women have gotten smart. Most women these days will have some type of job just so you don't have so much leverage over them. I tell you what, if you think I'm lying, and you guys in a relationship and your girl got a career or a job or something and you are able to provide for her, say y'all live together or something like that, or even married, for my Purple Pill brothers over here, go to her and say, honey, how about you become a stay-at-home mom? And I think I make enough, I make enough to provide for both of us. Why don't you just be a stay-at-home mom and see what she tell you? See what she tell you. Now, usually that'll work if you're married, because the marriage gives her protection. A lot of times. My client was married, the one I was telling you guys about that I asked her and she said, hell no. She was married and she still wouldn't go for it. But in a lot of situations, a woman might go for it if you're married, because the marriage provides her a little security because she got some on paper. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of women, even with that, won't go for it because they don't want that leverage over their head. They know if I need to go get my hair done or I want to go get some new shoes, I got to go to him and ask for some money and what he might want in return. Y'all guys got to understand that a lot of these women marry who? Beta males. And what beta males don't get? Blowjobs, all type of shit like that. They get, sex. If you're a beta male right now, well, if you with a woman who perceives you as a beta male, I don't go into the whole beta male, you a beta male, you an alpha male. If you're with a woman that perceives you as a beta male, you is not getting the best sex. Okay? You not getting no head. If she stops working and she wants some new shoes, or she want to get her hair did, she want to get these $200 braids, you're going to be sucking a whole lot of dick. And she don't want to do that. She don't want to give you that leverage. So she's going to keep working. If you're with a woman that views you as an alpha male, right? Well, she's already submissive to you anyway. In that situation, you might be able to get that because she's already submissive to you anyway. But if she's with you and she views you as a beta male, you can fucking forget it. She's not finna give you that fucking leverage. Okay, guys? So that's number one. She controls the sex. Number two, guys, gaslighting, which is a form of manipulation, guys. Playing the victim. So if you're in a relationship, I've been in a few relationships in my day. One thing I noticed from women is they're very good at reverse psychology. So you can catch a woman cold-handed doing something that she's not supposed to do. All right, let's just hypothetically say she told you she was going to her mama's house and they was going to play spades all night. And for whatever reason, you catch her at a club. Right? One of your friends catch her at a club and you call and say, hey, I thought you said you was going to be at your mama's house all night. My homeboy said he just saw you in the club. Okay, when she come home, you think she finna beg for forgiveness? She finna blame you. It's your fault that I was in the club because you don't take me out anymore. Do any of you guys know what that does? It puts you on eggshells. So once you're on eggshells, I have the power. Because you don't know if you going or coming, because I know how to play the fucking victim. So you guys got to understand that. You let women use these manipulation tricks on you. They gaslight you, and now you're on eggshells. That's what women do. Once they put you on eggshells, once they done gaslight your ass, now they have the power. Now you're going to be weak in a relationship, and you're going to let her control it because you don't want to rock the boat, because Prissy over here got you on fucking eggshells. That's gaslighting 101, guys. Playing the victim, reverse psychology, making you think you done lost your damn mind. Next, a lot of men fear going back on the dating scene. So, and this is going to be more for the guys who get in relationships with women who view them as a beta male, or men who have beta male mindsets. And because what ends up happening is that fear of going back on the dating scene. In other words, if you go through droughts all the time and you have no purpose in life, you got to remember that this is key. If you have no purpose in life, because if you go through droughts all the time and you got hobbies and you have purpose, well, goddamn, the droughts won't seem that bad. They still seem bad. I ain't gonna kid you, motherfucker. Now, the drought is a drought. I don't give a fuck what your purpose is. All right, you ain't getting no pussy. You ain't getting no pussy. All right, we ain't gonna sit over here and act like it ain't what it is. All right, I'm not finna sit up here and act like being on your purpose and having hobbies is gonna replace busting a nut. I ain't that goddamn crazy, right? Unless you fucking 60 years old, you ain't finna tell no goddamn 25-year-old grown ass man that, hey man, you don't need to bust nuts. Just get on your purpose and have hobbies. I don't think so. Okay, so I'm not finna kid you there, but it does help. Okay, but if you don't have those things, the fear, you finally got one. You finally got reliable booty. Oh man, I finally got a good girl. Finally got one. Finally, I ain't gonna say a good girl. I finally got a girl that can give me sex once every 2 weeks. That was better than what I was getting. So now I'm in this relationship. She got me on eggshells. In order for me not to go back to that, I'm gonna let her have the power in this relationship. I don't want to piss her off, man, because I'm gonna have to go back to no sex. You guys see that happens a lot. Men who have this scarcity mindset, men who, when they were single, wasn't getting no ass, they finally got a girl who viewed him as a beta male. He's a good provider. All right. He takes a bath enough. He bathes his ass enough. All right. Just enough. All right. So I can tolerate his ass. And now he has a fear, a phobia of going back on the dating scene. Because when he was on the dating scene, he was getting flakes if he could get a fucking date. So when you see these guys, I tell you what, let a woman try to take the power with a man who feels confident in his ability to meet other women single, and see how that work out for her. See how that work out for her. I guarantee you that won't work. That only gonna work with men who lack the confidence in their ability to meet other women. That's called a scarcity mindset, guys. That's called being a beta male. That's what beta males, a woman could never pull that on a man who views himself as an alpha male, which means that he's in abundance. All right, next, we'll have to pay child support and not the ability to see their child. So this would be obviously for you in a relationship and y'all have a kid, which is actually pretty common, right? And so in this situation, guys, what I've seen is it's not that a lot of men fear paying child support. Most men, by and large, don't mind paying the child support. What a lot of men, especially ones that are close to their kids, is they fear not being able to see their kids the way they want to. My manager at the Equinox, right? The second Equinox that I worked at, right? He had a tyrant wife. And he would tell me, I was like, man, why don't you leave? He was like, man, I don't think I'll be able to see my son. I don't be able to see my son. So he's like, he knows how vindictive women can be. And he knew she was going to try to make it a living hell for him to see his child. He knew that. So a lot of men would stay with women that are terrible. I don't know another way to say it. Terrible. Now to fear child support. Some men fear paying child support. Now, let's not kid ourselves, right? Some men fear paying child support, but even more so than that, a lot of men just fear not being able to see their child. For the men that are real close with their kids, want to be a big figure in their life and stuff like this right here, not just, oh, there go daddy, I see him 2 weekends out the month. Somebody who wants to be real active into their kid's life, that can be a little something daunting that they don't want to, they'll rather just let her have the power in the relationship and be weak than to end it. Because y'all guys got to understand, you can't get no power in the relationship without leaving a woman and her coming back to you. See, that's the thing. There is no other way. See, the old school guys tried to get it with these right here. This what the guys, the old school, this what our grandpas and great grandpas do. Woman didn't act right, they go upside their head. They didn't know no better. You guys know better, right? Okay, so you guys know not to put your hands on a woman. So what's the only way you can get a woman to come back submissive? Is to leave and let her come back to you. The thing is, that's the only way. There's nothing you can say or do while in the relationship. So if you think that this guy right here who has a fear of seeing his son can all of a sudden just start being in a masculine frame, it don't work that way. Once a woman done made up her mind that she's the alpha in the relationship, the only thing you can do to show her otherwise is you got to break her pride. which is leave and let her come back and suck a whole lot of dick. That's the only thing you can do. I'll even tell you guys this. Say you leave and she call you in a month and you just go back, she still got the power. You ain't know that? She must suck a whole lot of dick. She has to, because that is her way of submitting to you and letting her know you're just not going to get back like that, right? If she call you and you just come running back and she sees that you just happen to be back, well, she still got the power. She got to suck a whole lot of dick. She must. So if you thinking you're going to get in these relationships and now all of a sudden you walking around like you big and bad with the masculine frame, this, that, and other, that woman going to slap you upside your head. She don't care about that. You know, because I'm going to tell y'all guys something. The only thing women respect once they done seen weakness, is for you to show them that you're in abundance, which is leaving. That's the only way. So if this guy who's afraid of not seeing his child, if he thinking just sitting in the bed looking like having a masculine frame being quiet, you know what she'll think? She'll think I got this dude so on eggshells, he's scared to talk. That's what she'll think. She won't think like, oh, he acting masculine now. She would think that I'm so much in his head, he afraid to open his fucking mouth. That's what she'll think. She'll think that you over there. She won't think you're in a masculine frame. She'll think you're in an angry frame. She'll think you pissed off and she'll be over there laughing. Because she likes that. She likes the way she got you all wound up and shit. Okay, guys? So there is no way, if you're thinking that it is a way for him to, no, he has to leave. Okay? And women can be vindictive. It's a good chance he's not going to see his child. Or she's going to make it a living hell for him to see his child. I can almost guarantee you that. The only way a woman don't try to make the issues with you seeing your child is if she falls out of love and she wants to end it, right? And she pushes you away. And it's really on her, like she want it out anyway. In that situation, she won't make hard on you. But when it's your decision, oh, she's going to act vindictive. I can guarantee it. Next, guys, obviously, will lose assets. So, and this is obviously going to be for guys who are married and stuff like that. Most guys who are married don't want to get raped in family court. I think that goes without saying. They would just rather let the woman, because see what happens is men get in relationships and they think 5 years from now or 10 years from now, that's going to be the same woman I got today at the beginning. No. She suckered you in. She sent the representative out to make you think that that was who you gonna marry, who you was marrying. That's not who you was marrying. That was the representative. Now you getting the real her, the fucking hurricane fucking Katrina. Because once you said I do, she had all the fucking power and leverage. The best thing about prenups, guys, is not even so much that they protect your assets. They protect your leverage. Could you imagine being worth $100 million? Fuck it, let's just say 10 million. You don't sign a prenup and you know that if this woman knows that if she files for a divorce, she get half your shit. What kind of leverage do you have in a relationship? And for all you guys that keep wondering why leverage is the only thing that makes a woman act right. They are terrible human beings if you don't have no fucking leverage. They are horrible. Now, most times, if you're not married, the leverage is your abundance. She just has to respect your abundance, right? The abundance let her know that your sexual market value is. That's usually what's going to be your leverage for the average guy. You have to show women abundance. If you don't show that, she's going to be a fucking hurricane. I'm just letting you fucking know. That's the only thing. You cannot be with a woman in a relationship without leverage. They are horrible human beings. I tell you what, you think I'm lying? Lose your job and move in with one. Lose your job and have to, I already done it. Told you about the girl in New York, right? Used to come see me in Alabama. Happy days, right? Happy days. Move up there, first day. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I had no leverage. I had no job. I had nowhere to stay. Of course she gonna be a fucking hurricane. You have no fucking leverage. You must have fucking leverage. So if you in a relationship and you get married, She has all the fucking leverage. She's gonna be terrible. So that's why another reason why men fucking act weak in relationships. Once she has the leverage. I don't want to lose assets. So I'm gonna just be fucking her bitch. Cause I don't want to lose assets. I know if I push the button, we're gonna have irreconcilable differences. Ain't that the word? Irreconcilable differences. I think I'm saying that right. Y'all know I can't talk worth shit. But that's what happens. That's when y'all ever hear a woman say that she's filing for irreconcilable differences. What she's talking about is he had the audacity to buck back. That's what she's saying. I was being a bitch and he had the audacity to stand up for himself. Is he fucking crazy? You can't stand up for yourself. I have all the fucking leverage. That's what irreconcilable differences mean, guys. The guy finally got tired of it and stood up for himself. Oh, got to get a divorce. You standing up for yourself. We can't have that. Okay, guys. Next reason why guys are weak in relationships. Peace and tranquility. What do I mean by that? If you don't know what that means, you ain't never been in relationships or you ain't never lived with a woman. So what happens when a woman is acting terrible and you stand up for yourself? What happens? World War II happens. That's what happens. It is hell on wheels for the rest of that goddamn day, probably for the rest of that goddamn week. Rather than having all this bullshit going on and her trying to get me emotionally invested in her with all this crying and this therapy session she want me to have. Y'all guys know the little therapy session where she okay, yeah, and you understand me, and that. All that bullshit. Most guys just say, you know what? Yes, dear. Right away, dear. Just because they don't want to deal with that bullshit. Because she want to cry for 3 hours and we ain't talking. We don't tell all that, man. So most guys will just say, man, you know what? I'm not even finna start today. I'm just, you know what? Yes, dear. What men like? We're rational human beings. Peace and quiet. We don't want all that turmoil and bullshit. What women want? They want turmoil. They want to argue. They want to draw you in emotionally. So you sitting there and you thinking like, man, everything's great. This is great. She's sitting over there thinking of how to start an argument so she can be emotionally and all this other bullshit. Bring you like, so here she go to talking about, why you didn't bring me no water? And you like, oh, I go get you some water, dear. No problem. You go get the water, come back. But you should have bought it the first time. Now, see, she's just trying to start some emotional bullshit, right? You done went and got the water and bought it back. You're just so selfish. The point is not for her to talk about you selfish. She want to be emotional and she want to feel her, engage her emotions. She wants you to engage your emotions. And we both going to sit up here and we're going to bicker back and forth for 2 hours about who's most selfish. And then at the end, we can fuck like dogs. Ain't it nice? We don't want to deal with that bullshit. Man, I just want a hamburger, want my dick sucked, and I want to watch the fucking football game. Can I do that in peace? No, I'm finna sit up here and turn this water conversation into World War III. You so selfish. What men do? Yes, dear. You're right, dear. I'm selfish, dear. Just to avoid conflict, not because they're pussies, because I'm tired. I don't want to argue today. Can I watch the Bears game in peace? Please, ma'am. Please, baby. I don't want to argue today. Peace and tranquility, guys. Next, he's in love. What I tell you guys about getting attached. I don't give a fuck if you are in abundance mindset. If you get attached, you have developed a chemical dependency on that woman. Mentally, you are dependent upon her. She has taken full control of your emotions. At that point, once you get attached, I'm not talking about love a woman. You can love a woman and leave her. When you're in love, once you get attached, you instantly become in a scarcity mindset with that woman. Anybody on here tell me I'm lying? Anybody on here that's been in love with a woman? I'm not talking about a girl you kind of like. She had a big butt and you thought she was cute. I'm talking about the girl you was in love with. You instantly become in a scarcity mindset with her. This is why I tell you guys not to fall in love. What happens once you fall in love? What happens when you become fully attached? Don't you all of a sudden become insecure about who she's fucking? Don't you know how at the beginning you don't even care who's calling her? You're like, I don't give a fuck. She's just a piece of ass. 6 months later, who that is? You don't probably say it, but you thinking it. Who that is call her? Where's she at? She used to be here by that time. No, you ain't never think of like that at the beginning because you weren't attached. You ain't really give a fuck. You already just assumed she probably was fucking somebody else. As soon as you got attached, anything that seems out of the ordinary, now you care. That's what an attachment does. As soon as you build an attachment, guys, you are automatically in scarcity. I don't care how alpha you are, how much in abundance you are pre-attachment. Once you have an attachment, you are in scarcity. That's why when you build an attachment with a woman, that's why you control her, because she's in scarcity with you. Doesn't matter if she's getting 300 DMs a day. It don't matter. She's in scarcity with you. It's only one of you, and you are the person she's in love with. Same thing goes for you. It doesn't matter if you are a big time celebrity. How many of you guys have seen famous rich celebrities act like simps over a woman that they were in love with? And you're like, dude, do you know who the fuck you are? Don't matter. Once you fall in love, you are in scarcity. Don't matter that that guy gets 500 DMs a day. It doesn't matter that he's a big A-list Hollywood superstar. The fact is, he's attached to one woman and he's in scarcity with that woman. Don't matter. Don't matter what you think. He wants her because he's attached to her. So once he falls in love, he will let her have the power. If you fall in love with a woman, she has the power. You have no leverage. You too weak to leave. She knows it. I want you to know that. She knows it. She knows the way you look at her, that you're in love. And she knows that you don't have the power to leave her anymore. Any of you guys, if you think I'm lying, for any guys over here that has ever built attachments with women, tell me you could do no wrong. You could do no wrong. You could tell her, hey, I want us to have threesomes. Okay. All right. We can do it. You think I'm lying? Build an attachment with one and then bring it to her and see what she tell you. See what she tell you. If she tell you no, she's not attached. You think she's attached. She's not attached. When a woman is attached, you can say, hey, I want you to climb on top of the Empire State Building and jump off head first. She'll do it. You can tell a woman, look, I want you to go smuggle some drugs in. We're going to make some money. Smuggle some drugs in to the prison to this guy I know. She'll do it. Y'all ain't never seen those correctional officers sleeping with those guys, smuggling drugs into those guys that done got them attached, throwing away their whole career because they done fell in love with a criminal. I'm telling you, I know how attachments work, guys. You won't even think straight. For any of you guys that done got your heart broken, stuff like that, and girl left you, your life wasn't even normal again for 2 fucking years before you finally could get a good night's sleep, motherfucker. That's what an attachment is. It took you 2 years to recover, and you still think about her. Shit, you ain't gonna tell me nothing about no fucking attachment. So, like I said, once you're in love, you automatically in scarcity. The woman has the power. Next, guys, fear of what others might say or think. So, any of you guys that have been in long-term relationships, you know that people get accustomed to seeing you together. And when you don't lose that, like I remember, like whenever I was in long-term relationships in my 20s and stuff like this, my friends and family, and then they like, oh, what's such and such at? And I'm like, oh, you know, like you hate to tell them because they almost become like your Siamese twin. Like people so accustomed to seeing you together that you don't even want to, you don't want people to know that. It's like, yeah, okay, we're going through a little tit for tat right now, but you know, and you're like, oh, you don't want to talk about it. So a lot of guys they don't want that out there. Like they'll stay in a bad relationship, especially celebrities, right? Especially celebrities. They don't want, you think Beyonce want to have it in the tabloids, her and Jay-Z are getting a divorce? So they'll fight harder just because, and you don't have to be a celebrity. You can be a normal Joe, right? If people got accustomed to your wife or your girlfriend, and that's your wife or your girlfriend, y'all been together for 4 years, 5 years, even though she might not be as fun as she was 4 or 5 years ago, you don't want to admit defeat to your family and friends. And so you'll kind of stay in something that's bad just because you know that your family and your friends, like, she's part of the family now. I remember my mama asking me when I was staying with my sister, right? She was asking me, you know, what's such and such, the girl that I was talking to at the gym every night. And I was like, you know, I talked to her today, because she knew the girl was coming over there every night. Now, all of a sudden, she's not coming over there. And it finally, after a while, I guess, you know, after a while, you have to tell people. It's like it's been a fucking month and a half now. You're like, oh, we stopped talking. But you just hate to fucking admit that when you be in these long-term relationships, people just get accustomed to seeing you, neighbors, everybody. Oh, where's Nikki? Nikki, and you're like, oh, well, we stopped talking. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And you just hate. It's just like, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, guys, so fear what others may think. Okay. Next, guys, rose-colored glasses. So what ends up happening, guys, in a lot of situations in life in general, is that we kind of, when we see a situation, we think of the good days and not the bad, right? So we don't think of the present. We fixated on, man, I remember those first 6 months we were together, man. That was the happiest time of my life. Yeah, but y'all 7 years in and she ain't been that in a long fucking time. You guys, a lot of us get fixated on that to where we have these rose-colored glasses that we can't accept the fact that that's not who we have today. And so we just kind of keep waiting on that to come back. It's never coming back. And you'll see that in a lot of situations, guys. You'll see that with your job. You'll see that with some of you guys will watch TV shows and the first 2 seasons was so good. And you'll keep sticking with the show, hoping it'll get back to its glory days. And after a while, you just realize it ain't coming back. But you'll try to stick with it because you still thinking on the glory days or when it was good. And so you thinking like any day now it's going to get back good. It's not going to get back good. It's over. It's over. It sucks now. That's the way it goes, guys. We look on things with rose-colored glasses that we think that things are going to get back to the glory days, and it's not. I remember I was watching professional wrestling long after I probably should have stopped watching, thinking that any day it's going to get back good. Any day it's going to get back good. Any day Vince McMahon going to bring back the X-rated era. And no, he is still PG. It's still the PG era. For any of you young kids on here, y'all have no fucking idea that, like professional wrestling, y'all have no fucking idea how good wrestling was in the mid to late 90s, man. That shit was lit from like 95, 96, right around the time Stone Cold Steve Austin got hot to around 2001. Wrestling was lit. I kept watching pro wrestling long after, maybe a year or two after the PG era came in. Once Vince McMahon went public, he couldn't do all the X-rated stuff, and it went down from there. But when he could do all the other shit before he became a public trading company, in other words, y'all guys wondering what that means. That means that you can buy stock into the WWE now, right? Before he was a private company, and so he could pretty much do what he want to. Now he got stockholders. He can't do all the lingerie fights and all this, you know, all this crazy shit, because now he's a public traded company, right? So he got to scare. He's been PG ever since he went public. Now going public made him a billionaire. You know, I give him credit for that, but it killed the product. All right, it just fucking killed the product. And last, guys, don't want to admit failure to ourselves. So deep down, if any guy who's weak in a relationship, all right, and understand that, guys, all these are just the reasons why men are weak in relationships, right? What ends up happening is, deep down, we men know that we should have put an end to acting weak. She's only acting like that because we were weak. So deep down, if you're a dude right now, you watching this and your woman controls the relationship, you know you've been a pussy in a relationship. And so we don't want to admit failure to ourselves. You'll see this in businesses too, guys. Like, I see YouTube channels, and you'll see YouTube channels that probably should have stopped, you know, long before they did. I seen YouTube channels that stayed on for 3-4 years, and they views the same shitty views that they got their first, couple hundred videos. It's the same shitty views that they got the last couple hundred videos. And you know why they kept going? Some could say, well, maybe they had a passion for it. Well, if I say they had a passion for it, they would have never quit. You know what I think why they kept going? I think they kept going because they didn't want to admit failure. That's why I think. I think a lot of times, guys, we don't want to admit failure in ourselves. Sometimes it's just got to cut your losses. We have a hard time doing that. Men have egos, and that ego sometimes keeps us from wanting to nip things in the bud for shit that we know we should have done. Okay, guys, so that would be my last one. Don't want to admit failure to ourselves. This ain't even admit failure to other people, to ourselves. If you guys who start a business, the hardest thing is when if it don't work out, is admitting to yourself, you know what, this probably is not going to work. I'm pretty much wasting my time and money. That's going to be the hardest thing for any of you guys who start a business, to come to that point and fold up and accept that. All right, guys. So those are all the reasons why men are weak in relationships. I'll get back with you guys later.